Hello, everybody, and welcome to the CPA Corner. Today we've got a special guest. We've got Mayor. How about you
Hi.
introduce yourself
Hi,
to
I'm Mir.
everybody?
I'm Mir. I'm a head judge, a head moderator, and I don't think I'm any more heads. I just recently got associate editor, so that's exciting. And yeah.
That's a lot of heads.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's start with asking you, how are you keeping up with all of that work?
Yeah, so I just kind of multitask everything when I'm free. I'm usually free during the morning, so I do everything during the morning and then my nighttime. Um, I usually go out with like friends and that's when I have my free time, so it's really nice.
Wow, that's great. For the people who don't really know you, why don't you tell us more about your history?
Yeah, so I joined Club Penguin Armies in 2020 during, I think it was April, and I joined through CPO. I think it was the Discord. I got recruited into Golds, but then this guy from SWAT messaged me on Discord and kind of like troop stole me in a way. And he was from SWAT, and he was like, "Hey, do you want staff for this army?" And I was like, "Sure." So then I became staff while I was also in Golds. And then I left Golds and started being more involved with SWAT because I had more friends there. And then I eventually met OBS and we decided to both leave SWAT and we started an army called ODA, One Direction Army. We really kicked it off. We attended lots of like Olympics and tournaments like that. So that was a really fun time. And then we left that back to SWAT and we were there for quite a while. We both led it and attended lots of wars. That's originally why we rejoined SWAT for the Water Vikings. I think it's called Eager Foray War, and that's also where I got promoted to leader. So I led SWAT for about maybe 2 years with Cool Guy. You all know Cool Guy, OBS, Ganger, Ollie. There was a bunch of leaders. So
Who
Lego
doesn't know
Man.
those guys?
Yeah, Lego Man,
Yeah.
like just a bunch of people I've led with. And then I decided to retire in, I think, 2021 or 2022. I don't remember. It was a lot of back and forth.
All right. So that let's rewind a bit. You said you were recruited or troops told by a guy. Is that guy a cool guy or a bad or what type of guy was he?
So his name was Darklink, or Jalen, most people know him by.
Oh,
So yeah, he recruited me into Zook SWAT, and he was one of the leaders with Sweater, who was an amazing person, and Zook and Darklink were all leading together.
all right. How about you tell us more about your time in SWAT? What did you do in it? Were you
Yeah,
happy? Were you not?
yeah, I actually really liked SWAT. I mean, it was pretty much my home army. I loved just leading with all my close friends, and even like through all our wars, even though it was really hard at times. A lot of the people were very positive, and we all had a good laugh and a good time with it. So I really am happy that I was part of it because Ganger did teach me a lot about leading and stuff like that. And I wouldn't have had all those skills without him. So yeah, I'd say it was a very positive thing that I was part of SWAT at that time.
Great. Um, well, you mentioned some names. Let's go deeper into this topic. You know Lego Man, right? What are
Yeah.
your opinions on him? You know he's like a polarizing figure in the army community. Everybody kind of hates him or loves him. Well, mostly hates him. Me personally, I also hate him. So why don't you tell us more about your relationship with him or how were you guys, I mean, dealing with each other?
Yeah, so Lego Man and we kind of go all the way back from when he was an Ice Warrior, so we automatically became friends right away off the bat. And then later on, he decided to join SWAT. At first, um, when he did become leader, I wasn't, or like most of us weren't the biggest fans because I don't know the way that some of our staff members were kind of concerned and stuff. So we did let go of Lego Man as a leader because we didn't feel as though he was ready. So that kind of ruined our personal friendship aside from armies as well. But aside from that, when he did come back a few times, he is honestly a really good leader. And like, there's no denying that he's so passionate about SWAT, and he would do absolutely anything for SWAT. So he deserves what he got in SWAT. The way he does things, like his moral wise, probably some of the things he's done are not the best in the past, but I honestly do think at the end of the day, like, he's a really good guy and he's a good friend, and like, I know a lot of the community don't like him, but to me, like, he means well, and we have such a long history that's like, he's kind of like family to me.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, it got me surprised. Like, you were guys like on and off, you know.
Yeah.
He's great some day, another day he was like a bad guy. Anyways, staying on the topic of SWAT, you know, the army has kind of a dark cloud on it right now. A lot of bad occurrences, a lot of people in the community hate it or dislike it. I mean, SWAT has been through a lot. What do you think contributed to what it is right now? Why is it so hated? What happened?
I think ever since kind of Lego Man led it, it kind of had that reputation. As you said, like, a lot of people don't like Lego Man, but I think that kind of resorted to people kind of having a bad view on SWAT, because also there were people that were controversial and were leading SWAT at the time too. And then also like Lego Man leaving, and Krill, who is a good person and a good leader, but I don't know if he kind of is as experienced as, like, let's say Lego Man was, because he led for a long time. But I think also the fact that they are kids leading the army, and most of the adults or most of the community are adults now, it's kind of like a meme for the adults. So that's kind of why I think, like, people view it as a joke.
Yeah, I mean, Krill right now, he acts childish, you know?
Yeah.
Even Fwapo, who was actually a child, like,
Right.
we've talked and stuff. We're from the same country, kinda, so...
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, I guess it is what it is. Yeah, the question here is there a place for a kid leader in an army? Can kids lead armies now and be accepted by the community? Because, for example, we said right now that Krill is a kid, or he acts childish. You know, is there a place for people like this to rise through the ranks and still take on responsibilities like this?
I mean, yeah, I think that kids should be the ones leading. I mean, to each their own, but this, like, community is meant for kids, you know. Even back then, like, they were kids. The OG people were kids leading armies. And I know times have changed today, but I do think that a kid can be a great leader. This environment was originally made for kids, so I do think that they should still lead, and they have the potential.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. Looking at the army situation right now, the environment and all of that, we see small armies and major armies. They both have changed since the time you retired. What do you think of small armies right now, especially as SWAT has become or has gone back to being a small army rather than a major one? How is the small army situation going on in the community? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like back then it was so much easier to recruit. Like, even when I was in SWAT, we'd often be like small, medium to major, and we'd just flip back and forth. But I definitely think being a small, medium army is really hard right now, especially with the recruiting cases right now. I mean, you try to recruit, you get automatically disabled. So I give a lot of small, medium armies credits, even now. So
Any small medium army took your attention for a bit? Like, we know there is PIC, there is SWAT, there is Winged Hussars. Maybe I'm missing something, Dark Pirates. Is there any army that you think that might rise to major or has a chance for it?
I think that PIC is doing really great right now. I mean, with their wars, and they're really being bold and straightforward. So I think, and PIC has a lot of support too, and great relationships with army leaders and stuff like that. So I think PIC has a really good future ahead of them.
That is fair. Now, moving on from small medium armies into majors, how do you see the major community now? How is it going? Do you feel like some major army might fall down, or what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, we already saw Elite Guardians, I believe, from the TT. They used to be always at the top, and then they just, I don't know what happened. They kind of just dropped at a time. So that was pretty shocking to me. I was also shocked with the Templars because they were not doing the best, and then after that war, something clicked, and now they're doing great. So yeah, it's pretty big change with that.
Yeah, so yeah, a lot of things have changed and stuff. Now with the summer coming up, I'm probably sure that a lot of people will probably return and be more active. What are your expectations for this summer season?
Yeah, like you said, a lot of people come back and are active, and people are off from school and finally have free time. So I think a few people will be coming back. I don't think the community will increase too much. I think it'll be consistent, but a few people will be coming back, as you mentioned. I don't think it'll be growing like crazy.
Yeah, well, another question sprung up from my mind after I ask you this.
Yeah.
I mean, now that you said that many people might come back, there is another question like, when will armies die? If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
When do you think armies might actually die? That's the most million-dollar question in this community.
The most ultimate question.
So what do you think about that? Yeah.
I don't think they'll ever die, to be honest. There's so many people that just keep it going. I think it's going to be alive for a good while. I don't think the community is going anywhere.
Well, that's sad news for many people here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, let's talk about yourself. You said you retired. Can you elaborate more about that? Why did you retire? What were the reasons?
Yeah.
Did you ever come back?
So the reason I retired was I was just leading for so long. Cool guy and I, as cool guy especially, but I led SWAT for a pretty good long time. I just wanted other people to kind of have that chance of leading, and I kind of needed to leave the environment to, experience other things, and I kind of got myself more involved with the league, which is what I wanted to do before completely retiring from the community. So that was my goal.
So we won't be coming back anytime soon. Ever,
yeah.
Right?
I don't think I would ever lead an army seriously again. Maybe with friends as a joke army, but I don't think I'd ever have that in me to lead, especially with how things are today.
Well, you've heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. ODA army coming back soon.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Is that right?
No. Definitely. I mean, if OBS wants to, hey, but no, it's not coming back soon.
Why don't you tell us more about this ODA army? I mean, I guess many of us guys aren't really fans of this stuff. It's more like a fangirl thing.
Yeah, so it was OBS, Izzy, Izzy. She's part of this community. She was part of Egg CP, or is part of it.
Yeah.
This girl, Frankie, and I, all of us were listening to One Direction music, and we all love One Direction, so we were like, hey, let's create a One Direction army. And so that's kind of when we got the idea, and then we started the server, and we kind of just went on from there. So it was more of, at first it was kind of a joke, but then it became serious, and the army was attending a lot of things. Also wars, we were part of wars, which is crazy. But yeah, it was a really fun time.
Well, you kind of inspired me to open a new army tomorrow called the Swifties of CPA.
If you do that, I'd literally
I'd probably
join.
get a lot of...
I'd join.
Yeah, I'd get a lot of sign-ups.
I think that's the only time I'll rejoin armies, actually, if you open that up. So
yeah, I'm not doing that. In my university, a lot of people like Taylor Swift, and I'm like, what's so great about her, you know?
Yeah,
I'm a guy, so...
a lot of people have different opinions on Taylor Swift. I love Taylor Swift. I mean, I went to her Eras Tour concert. I'm a huge fan. But a lot of people have different opinions, and I respect that.
That's fair. I'm just more interested in that Drake versus Kendrick beef going on right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess. Moving on. So, back to this CPA stuff. You've heard about the map coming up.
Yes.
What do you think about this stuff?
I'm really excited to have a map out and get the community more involved. I'm hoping that this starts, you know, making people, or like, I hope this starts creating more wars as well and tensions between armies. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a long time coming for this
Yeah.
up to at least release now. So hopefully we could see some more drama, more
Yeah.
popcorn, you know.
More EO.
We need to watch this stuff.
Yeah.
So now that thankfully we have a map, what do you think about the admins? Like Happy, Disha, now Cool Guy also. Congrats to Cool Guy.
Yeah.
His birthday coming up also.
Yeah.
What do you think about the work that's been done to this community?
I honestly think they've been doing a great job. I mean, they've had a lot of hard things thrown at them, so I truly think that they've been handling it pretty well. Even without the map, they were always picking up other ideas on what to do and how to engage the community and do stuff. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Well, yeah, it's great that they're putting all this work in.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so now that you've retired and all of this stuff, you don't miss armies, right? Like, there's nothing to miss about it. Or what do you miss the most?
I think I missed something I missed most are definitely like staff team. We were always so close and working together, so it was always a fun time, and I missed that. Leading events, that was always fun, and especially like U leads. I miss U leads a lot because it was always funny to see like the locals lead. So yeah, that's kind of what I miss the most.
Well, you're not really out of the community just yet. You're still a judge,
Yeah.
and all of this stuff you mentioned, all the heads.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us more about these roles for the people who don't know? For example, I just don't know how judging really works, for example.
Yeah, so I am a head judge alongside Spotty, Patty, Popcorn, and Young. I don't know how to explain it properly. I'm really bad at explaining, but we organize like schedules, like invasion stuff. We organize group chats. So when people are accepting to judge, in the background, we have a group chat usually that's going on for the judges who are judging an event, to discuss things that are occurring within the battle with those 30 minutes. We recently just had an Olympics event. We were hoping, like, our main goal for that Olympic event was to start getting our judges more active because, you know, we had these wars coming up, and then we had the Freeland invasions. So we felt that we needed something to get our people going and, you know, judging more. Another thing we do is promoting JITs. So when people, like you said, you don't have any experience. So when people don't have experience, we started creating a new method for our JITs before they are promoted. So they have, for instance, like a video they have to watch. They have to watch 3 battles. And then after those 3 battles, they come to us and we have to discuss with the other judges who did judge with them to see if they're worthy of a promotion or not. And if they're not, then we have to, you know, tell them and say, hey, you need to do 1 more battle. And then judges also take a quiz now, which is brand new to like CPHA. And we do that to ensure that they know what's going on during battles 100%. And another thing is like they know they have to behave well and not be biased towards armies. So yeah, sorry, that's a lot of information to take in.
Nah, I guess people could just pause and listen to it again.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Most of the community are
So-
judges.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to judge, you know?
It's
know how
fun.
it works and all.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's fun to be, you know, a judge and not to be stressed about winning or not.
Definitely.
Decide
yeah.
who wins or not.
100%. I
Yeah.
think it's hard being a leader with that on your shoulders.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, moving on from judging to the editor work. I mean, you've just recently become an editor.
Yeah.
How was your experience about it? How was the editing team? What are your thoughts about all of this?
So I just joined recently. I just got my first post out. It's really fun. I was a reporter actually back in 2020, and I left due to the leagues always closing down every time I did get reporter. So, but during that time, you know, it was really fun. So I thought that it would be a great opportunity for me as well, to do it again. Being an editor, it's fun working in the background and working with like Shaw and the rest of the editors. So I'm excited for that and learning more about the media because it's definitely very different than other departments.
Didn't Krill and Ninja Leader give you guys a hard time with all those posts?
No, they didn't.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I'm a teacher now, so I
Oh,
could
congrats. That's
I could
awesome.
see it from a mile away.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so I guess that's just a shout out to those guys. They're doing great.
They are, yeah.
So moving from judging to editing, now moderating, of course. Tell us more about moderating. Who are the misfits in the community? All that stuff.
I don't think I'm gonna go into the misfits of the community because I don't feel like that would be my place or a good thing. But aside from that, being a head moderator has its perks and not fun things. I have to kind of deal with everybody's like ban appeals and stuff like that and make sure the chat's always moderated. So, you know, when you're being a moderator, you kind of expect everybody to not like you, and that's basically what happens. So yeah, I mean, even though you deal with a lot of people hating on you, but I mean, you're only doing what you're supposed to do and things to keep the chat safe and not, you know, become any more toxic than CPA already is. So
Nice one.
yeah, but yeah, it's really fun. I shout out to Aisha and Austin Fraud for getting a promotion and being the next head mods, and I had a really great time working with Sania, who was one of the previous head moderators.
Well, I need to hear your opinion on this. I mean, we've seen the CPA chat. I mean, Kyle needs to shut up sometimes. Am I right?
I'm Kyle.
Joking here. Yeah, it was Eden before. Now he's left, and Kyle remains.
Kyle, yeah, Kyle is a character.
Yeah, he always reminds me of this South Park character.
Oh, South
You
Park.
watched South Park, right?
I have not
Yeah,
watched
that
South
shut
Park.
up Kyle meme.
I think I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah, that's so funny. Kyle is definitely interesting.
Well, you said you don't want to mention the misfits and stuff, so we're gonna move away from that.
Yeah.
How about you tell us who are actually the most active people, at least, you think, on the chat?
Yeah, the most active people are the ones who say they hate CPA and tell everybody to leave the community. Those are honestly the most active people.
Well, do you know why people hate CPA so much? Have you even hated it yourself, for example? Like, I feel like this phenomenon is really prevalent in the community a bit.
Yeah, I
All
mean,
of this.
I've hated the community sometimes. Like, there are some people, you know, where you get into arguments with and you just can't stand. So yeah, I understand that point of view, but also I think a lot of those people that don't like it haven't had a good experiences within it. So I think that kind of generates their hatred towards CPA.
And have you yourself hated CPA at one point?
I don't think I've ever hated CPA itself. Probably like,
Not the league, by the
Yeah.
way. Let's be
Yeah,
clear
yeah.
here. The
like the
basically.
armies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever hated like CPA itself, like the armies, but I do think that there have been times where it gets toxic and it's like, why are we getting so toxic over a Club Penguin game, you know?
Yeah, it's just a children's game, guys. Grow up.
Right?
Well, I guess this might be all the time we have.
Yeah.
Any last words you want to say? Something? Shout outs? The floor is yours.
Well, I just want to shout out to you. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to interview me. I appreciate that a lot. Toxic and I have been trying to get this scheduled for how many months now?
2.
1 or 2 months. So yeah, I appreciate you a lot for being here and interviewing me.
Well, we're glad to have you here, and we also have to thank Mayor's alarms, by the way. Really helpful too.
I
Yeah.
put 5 alarms for toxic today, so
Yep, if
Yeah.
we ever want to wake up or something, alarms here to save the day.
right?
Well, thank you very much, Mayor, and this is it all for the day, folks. Thank you very much, and see you in the next episode.